Hi, I'm Tabitha Williams, and welcome to What's Eating Harlem. We cover the most exciting community in the world. There's so much happening in Harlem. Let's get started. Charles Gabriel is still cooking up that pan-fried chicken in Harlem. In part 3 of our series, Renaissance to Renaissance, we are covering Zora Neal Hurston. In our Harlem Positive segment, JP Morgan Chase is making sure CCNY students are learning how to be financially literate. All of that and more coming up next.
This program was made possible by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company, the Harlem Community Development Corporation, and by the West Harlem Development Corporation. Solutions through collaboration.
Chicken made the classic way at Harlem's own Charles's Pan-Fried Chicken. Hungry yet? Well, Charles Gabriel hopes you are when you come to his pan-fried chicken takeout spot located at 340 West 145th Street in Harlem, USA. Charles has been frying chicken in Harlem for decades in these oversized cast iron pans.
I started from the South. I started cooking with my mom. So I got all her recipes that I'm doing now and that she gave me. I came to New York and then I decided to open up a business. And when I did, I said, well, I'm here in New York now. Now it's time to do what my mom gave me. So she said, if you open up a restaurant, especially the chicken, I don't want you frying no chicken in no deep fryer. I want your chicken fried in the frying pan, just like I'm showing you at home. I said, yes, Mom. So I came to New York, and that's what I did. So I started a restaurant. So I said, I'm gonna start my pan-fried chicken in this cast iron frying pan.
Charles partnered up with Quie Solbert because of COVID.
COVID shut down his restaurants. I was working at a restaurant and running a couple of them. Shut down my restaurant also. We got together. His food was amazing, but honestly, I've been tasting his food since I was 4 years old at Copeland's. So this was a man that we would go eat his food at Copeland's with my family to celebrate. You know, I've seen him on TV several times. Got a chance to meet him. He actually cooked with me that one time, and it's been amazing ever since. And then our bond been so strong.
Q calls himself Charles's muscle. He does all the dirty work so that Charles can focus on his famous food.
I'm his muscle. Whatever he needs done, I get it done. Charles started his business years ago by himself. He would get up in the morning time, he would go shopping, he would bring it back, he would prep the food, he would cut the chicken, he would season the chicken, he will cook the food, he'll serve the food, and he'll clean up. So now he gets to sit back and do what he loves to do, and that's cook for the people. So I'll do all that extra stuff, and he'll just cook and give you his love and his passion.
Gabriel has been cooking in Harlem for many decades, starting with Copeland's, which was located right up the road on 145th Street. He worked there for 22 years before striking out on his own.
He started the business back in the days where we wasn't getting no help. He wasn't getting no help, right?
No,
he started cooking
what,
on the table?
On the table.
And then from the table to the
Table
truck?
to the truck.
And from the truck to the...
From the truck to the restaurant.
And he tried to get loans?
And tried to get loans. Nobody gave me a loan.
No one gave him loans.
Nobody gave me a loan.
No one gave this black man a loan for his own business, so he did it with his bare hands.
I did it myself. I couldn't hire nobody. I had to do it myself. Me and my wife, I had to do it myself. I couldn't hire nobody because I couldn't afford it.
The grand opening of this location saw a large crowd at its doors because he gave away over 700 dinners so that the neighborhood could get a taste of Charles's pan-fried chicken.
Just as the clientele I had, just I wouldn't be in business 50 years if I didn't have the clientele out here. And these people follow me, and they always have. I don't care if I go down and come up, they'll be waiting.
And this is why we fed Harlem. We fed over 700 people free.
Yeah.
Free meals when we opened up. We was out of business for 2 years, making no money at all, but he wanted to feed everybody in Harlem because Harlem fed him.
Yeah.
But the new approach is a drop of meat, but at the same time, we're keeping the same essence of Charles. Everything is fresh daily. We're here at 3 in the morning cooking fresh daily. Our pastries are fresh daily. Like there's no can, nothing here. Everything is fresh. Right. So that essence will never change when it comes to Charles pan fried chicken. So the new approach, a new look, a little model, a little approach on the whole business side of customer service. Now he has more help. We got more employees. That's the side I'm dealing with. But as far as the food and the freshness of everything, that has not changed. In fact, you get more of Charles. Because he has more time to cook. He has more time to give you his barbecue, more time to give you his desserts, more time to give you more of what he loved to do. While I do his grunt work.
Besides the pan-fried chicken, they offer a variety of delectable choices.
Let me break it down.
Oh, we have smothered turkey wing. We have smothered chicken.
Get them.
We have pulled pork. We have that smoked rib come out of the pulled pork. That's smoked. And the smoked barbecue chicken.
I know about that.
And many things. And more things are coming on the menu. We got the mac and cheese,
the black eyed peas, the macaroni, you name it. Like we have it here for you. We have it here.
And dessert?
Oh, desserts? Oh, we can show you the desserts right here.
Yeah.
Got the famous banana pudding.
Potato pie, banana pudding.
Say it.
Red velvet cake.
Say it.
You know.
Time to get my food. And they have a special serenade when you get sauce on your ribs.
Would you like sauce on your ribs? Yes, please. We got a saucy. Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Swipe out the G-Shock. Moving slowly, I know the street hype. No more double, go ahead and detox. Came from the trenches, they ain't showing us no love. Thugging in the city, all we wanted was a hug, yeah. We on the block like every night to catch a buzz. Get the cash and take my family out the hood, that's a must. Was a hood baby with no soldiers. Bad past never left my mind, it's taking over. No, I should've died, that's why it's hard to stay sober. Glad to see the sun, but my heart getting colder. Life's so crazy, what we been through. When you die, the only time that they gon' miss you. Tell my mama no more tears, no more tissue. We was just some hood baby with some issues. Hood baby from the struggle. Long time had a hustle. Glad we made it through. I'm just glad we made it through. Hood baby from the struggle.
What's Eating Harlem wants to get you involved. Visit our website, www.whatseatingharlem.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like our Facebook. Returning to our Renaissance to Renaissance series, I'm joined by Miss Lana Turner, a student of Black history and culture, and I'm honored to be a student of hers. We're together again. Yes. And this time we're gonna talk about some of the women of the time. One woman in particular, Miss Zora Neal Hurston.
Zora Neal Hurston, the character of all times. Zora Neal Hurston comes to New York in 1925, and she doesn't have a place to be right away. She's a character all to herself. And her first place is to land on a couch in the living room of Regina Anderson, who was the librarian here.
Okay.
And that was on St. Nicholas Avenue and 139th Street, right? And that's where Regina lived with two other people, Ethel Nance and I forget the other lady. But anyway, they shared an apartment. And when writers would come to New York, that was the meeting place.
Okay.
They cooked, they allowed people to stay there until they found. So this was Zora's first place on their couch. But I want to introduce Zora through one of her short stories that she writes in 1927. She comes to Harlem in 1925. This collection of short stories, which was recently published, breaks up her time when she's in the South and then her time when she's in the North.
Okay.
And in the North, of course, it is really about Harlem. I mentioned a while ago, about how language and content gets turned around to become something different in the hands of Black writers, and in particular, Zora Neal Hurston.
Okay.
So I just want to give you something that most people really don't hear about through the collection of short stories. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'm just going to give you a little sense of it.
Okay.
She calls it monkey junk. And just so that I can set it up for you, it's a satire on modern divorce. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So this is how she writes it. And it came to pass in those days that one dwelt in the land of Harlemites, who thought that he knew all the law and the prophets. Also, when he arose in the morning and at noonday, his mouth flew open, and he said, Verily, I am a wise guy. I knoweth all about women. And in the cool of the evening he saith and uttereth, I know all there is about the females. Verily, I shall not let myself be married. Thus he counseled within his liver, for he was persuaded that merry maidens were like unto death for love of him. But none desired him. And in that same year, a maiden gazeth upon his checkbook, and she coveted it. Then she became coy and sweet with flattery, and he swalloweth the bait. And in that same month, they became man and wife. I'm going to stop here because I know you want to hear more.
I do. I'm enjoying her like King James rendition of "Verily, verily, I say unto thee."
This
and
is exactly,
thou shalt.
that's right, and this is exactly Zora Neal Hurston. How do you take what you know of as some standard, let's say Bible, and turn it around and give you this amazingly crazy satire, which is not so crazy,
Comedy
full
and
of comedy
sarcasm and
truth.
wit. Wit and truth.
Really grateful for this partnership, which for us began at the Powell School by being a part of J.P. Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathways Initiative. It's a program where General Colton Powell himself, who was our leader and our namesake, was a member of the board of advisors. J.P. Morgan Chase is mentoring students, our students, who want to go into careers in finance. They are creating opportunities for our alumni, and it was thanks to their vision and their leadership that we partnered to organize today's conference, which is just the start of new efforts and this partnership to support our community around personal finance and financial literacy.
And in shaping the minds of these students, what do you really hope to see them do in the world?
Well, you know, one important part of being the Powell School is that we are named for General Colin Powell, who came back to City College when he'd finished his service to government, and he wanted to give back to a place that, you know, had done everything for him at the beginning of his life to put him on a path towards the kind of great trailblazing career he had. And when he came back, we put him in a room with a group of students who are just like our students today. And he said, my God, they're also just like what I was back in the 1950s. And what he said we needed to do was to equip them with the best education imaginable at an affordable price, and to equip them to get career-starting jobs, as the way he used to always put it to us, south of 59th Street, that he wanted to make sure they could get down into the business world. And this initiative is really integral to that. You know, we've had a partnership for a number of years now with JP Chase through their Advancing Black Pathways initiative. General Powell was on the advisory committee to Advancing Black Pathways and made that connection for us. They've been mentoring our students. They've been providing internships and opportunities for our students at the bank. But this is really the inauguration of something new, which is for all of our students creating a pathway to understanding how to manage personal finance. You know, our students, 75% of them are first in their family to go to college, 80% people of color, half immigrants, mostly from lower income neighborhoods of New York City. Those are exactly the neighborhoods that have been unbanked or underbanked, and where historically young people have not had the opportunity to really think about how to make financial decisions early on that could benefit them as they go forward.
Growing up, and I'm also a Harlem resident, financial health wasn't spoken about at my dinner table. In fact, it was actually taboo to talk and ask people about money. So as a result, I didn't grow up understanding, as President Botu said, the importance of making sure that I had a smooth financial journey. I had a lot of pitfalls, y'all. So I am on a fierce mission to help communities like Harlem and students like all of you to understand that finances is your friend. So today I brought my team here today, and we're going to really, really peel the onion back and get you comfortable about financial health.
Who are you hoping to reach today?
Students. We know that financial health education is a matter of choice. And today my team is here to really help students understand that their financial journey is all about the choices that they make.
Now let's just break down students, because we're talking, you could be anywhere from the age of 17 to about 22, 24, initially starting. Is that the group that you're trying to reach?
That is the group that I'm trying to reach. However, when we think of students, I'm talking about the students of life, because when it comes to financial health, you can never be too old to learn something new.
Esther, congratulations on your senior year.
Thank you.
So what is your major?
I am majoring in economics with a concentration in finance.
Okay, that makes sense for you to be here at this event. But with a major in economics and concentration in finance, what do you really hope to accomplish?
I definitely see myself in a position where I'm at the joint of technology and finance. So I see myself surrounded by innovation that has that impact, right, to improve the future.
And what's your hope for today's whole conference and situation? What do you hope to walk away with?
Definitely. I remember that there is a credit building session, and I'm definitely interested in that, right? I mean, coming out of college, entering the workplace, like, you should have an idea of what it means to have a credit, right? Building up your credit and what are those opportunities afterwards.
And tell me, at home, did you learn about credit, or is it really you're learning more about it in school and through this event?
Right. I kind of know a little bit about it, right? Looking at my mom and what her steps are in terms of her credit building, and my sisters as well. But definitely in school, and definitely this conference, I'm learning so much more. I'm gonna learn so much more, and I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna flourish. I hope so.
I hope you do too, although I have no doubt that you will. Thank you so much, Esther.
Thank you.
What's Eating Harlem covers the Black Chef series. led by former What's Eating Harlem guest and Harlem chef, Lance Noling. Check it out.
I'm Che McKissick. I am the Corporate Beverage Director for Donahoe Hospitality, and I am the sommelier in residence for the Black Chef Series in DC. I've created a selection of cocktails for the first and last course for the evening, going to be based in Uncle Nearest, and we'll have a selection of wines in between for every course.
Good evening. My name is Chef Ron Reed. I'm here at the Donahoe Hotel. I'm one of the traveling chefs for Cambria, which is at the riverfront in Washington, D.C. I'm here tonight with the Black Chef Series production, and I'm going to be presenting my dish as the third course, a low country barbecue pheasant with a lentil stew, charred tomatoes, and a shiitake mushroom broth.
I'm Chef Lance Noling, and I'm here to talk about the Black Chef Series that we're putting on here in the Cambria Hotel in Washington, D.C. with guest host and board member on the Black Chef Series, Chef Malcolm Mitchell. We wanted to do something like this. Black Chef Series is very near and dear to our heart, and this being Black History Month, we wanted to do something special.
I'm happy to host you. I'm Chef Malcolm Mitchell. I am the Corporate Director for Restaurants and Bars for Donahoe Hospitalities, which is one of the sponsors. It's about giving Black chefs an opportunity to shine. We have far too many years, decades, and centuries have been overlooked and underserved. So this is a perfect opportunity to bring something to Washington, D.C. And Black Chef Series is exactly what it is. Instead of always trying to ask for a seat at the table, Black Chef Series built their own table, and tonight you'll be dining at this table.
That's what's up, right?
Yeah. I'm doing a dessert. It's kind of reminiscent of a sweet potato poon, but I made it a little bit different. I used sweet potatoes. I did a deep fried fritter. With that, I'm using Madagascar ice cream that I made, and also going with that is going to be a Uncle Nearest caramel that goes with that, which is one of our sponsors. Again, I can't forget about Uncle Nearest, that lost legacy. And with that, I made a pineapple curd to go along with that as well.
Delicious, delicious. The first course, which is grilled beets with a yellow beet vinaigrette, a sweet potato and mascarpone mousse, braised fennel, and I put something else on there too. Black eyed pea jam.
Oh, beautiful.
And we have some brioche toast.
Gorgeous dish. Gorgeous dish. Beautiful and flavorful.
Yes, flavorful. But more so, I like to use traditional products, traditional ingredients that we use in African American cooking and household and from the continent. And I like to put them together in non-traditional ways.
My name is Angela Bethia, and I am the executive chef at Smoke and Mirrors, and I'm here with the Black Chef Series, and tonight I'll be serving a black and red snapper, crispy cheesy polenta cake, marinated tomatoes, chorizo oil, and topped with a crispy sweet potatoes.
My name is Chef Peter Prime. I'm the executive chef at Bammy's. I'm here tonight with the Black Chef Series, and I cooked a jerk spiced venison rack. I served it over a braise of venison leg, collard greens, side of fried plantain pudding, and a little bit of sorrel gastrique.
that's all we have for now. Join us next time on What's Eating Harlem. See you uptown.
This program was made possible by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company, the Harlem Community Development Corporation, and by the West Harlem Development Corporation. Solutions through collaboration. Also by the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce and Harlem Park to Park.
How do I deal with what I'm feeling? Maybe I just don't. What you're doing, I'm in ruins, all alone. I'm all alone, and I know nothing to do helps me forget about you. You just came out of the blue. If you only knew, let's sit and have a cup of coffee. Let's go to a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life, you keep the change.